Hello and welcome again to another day of classes. We're going to be continuing with the Interchange 5th edition level 3, the Green Book. And today we're going to be starting with the Unit 10. As always, we start the units with, the language summary or the vocabulary for this lesson. So let's jump right in. We're going to start, as always, with some nouns. Historic events. We're going to be talking about time. Achievement, something which someone has succeeded in doing, especially after a lot of effort. Assassinations, the action of assassinating someone, basically killing a person, not stopping his life, basically. Like the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. Catastrophe, an event causing great and usually sudden damage or suffering, a disaster. That is a catastrophe. Discovery, the action or process of discovering or being discovered. Election, formal and organized choice by vote of a person for a political office or other position. The action of electing or the fact of being elected. Basically, where you choose your governors and your politicians to be like presidents and all of those types of charge. Epidemic. Oh, this is an interesting one. Widespread occurrence of an infectious disease in a community at a particular time. A perfect example of this is the coronavirus that we are in this epidemic. Invention. The action of inventing something, typically a process or device. Natural disaster. A major adverse event resulting from natural processes of the earth. Examples are floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, and volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, tsunamis, and other geologic processes. Basically, the things that breaks the earth or affects a lot of the terrain and stuff, that those are natural disasters. Terrorism or a terrorist act. The unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians in the pursuit of political aims. Like if you want to affect the politics or the government of a country, you attack their people. That is terrorism. Some other words: a billion, the number equivalent to the product of 1,000 of a million. Something to keep in note: in English, a billion is 1,000 millions, but in other languages, a billion is a million of a million. So it's something to keep in mind. A period of 100 years is a century, basically. Century, 100 years. Compass, the device for finding direction with a needle that can move easily and that always points to magnetic north. Okay. Debut, the occasion when someone performs or presents something to the public for the first time. That is usually with artists, for example, when they debut, they start appearing for the first time. Existence, the fact of something or someone existent. So basically, if you exist, you have existence. Fad, a style, activity, or interest that is very popular for a short period of time. That it's a fad. Human, a man, woman, or child, the human beings. Humankind, all people considered as a group. It's like basically the humankind is the whole species of humans. Like you can say cats for the whole species of felines. Impact, the force or action of one object hitting another. Powerful effect that something, especially something new, has or a situation or person. Basically, an impact is when something crushes with another thing. Maybe it can be a meteor or maybe it can be you in a new job. Penicillin is a type of antibiotic that is a medicine that kills bacteria. Speculation, the activity of guessing possible answers to a question without having enough information to be certain. So basically, when you had speculations or when you speculate, it's when you start thinking of What could be the answer, but we're not sure. Trend. A general development or change in a situation or in the way that people are behaving. A new development in clothing, makeup, etc. Basically, a trend is what a lot of people follow. Maybe to do things, or to go places, or to have things. Craze. An activity, object, or idea that is extremely popular, usually for a short time. That is a craze. For example, these bands, the Gangnam Style, Pokemon Go, the ASL Challenge, Farmville, the fidget spinners, the debate over the white and gold or black and black dress. By the way, it's black and blue. The thing is that in this image, it's clear. The the backpack kid, I think, in the Candy Crush Saga. Oh, I know all of these phrases. History buff. A person who knows a lot about history, particularly a lot of regarding a period of time, person, or place. Let's see some adjectives. Biodegradable. Able to decay naturally and in a way that is not harmful. If you use plastic, that is not going to be degraded easily or in a short period of time. So we should use biodegradable plates and cups and stuff because it's not going to be harmful for the environment. Major, greater in size, extent, or importance. The Mississippi River is a major river, or the Boston Red Sox is a major league baseball. So the major is that it has more importance. Overnight, for or during the night, suddenly and unexpectedly. Something that is overnight is something that happens or is done overnight, in the night. Let's see some verbs. Alter, to change something, usually slightly, or to cause the characteristics of something to change. For example, in this case, we have Walter White, that is a normal man, a family man. Then he becomes Heisenberg by doing all sorts of stuff, and then he ends up as the kingpin of a meth empire. If you don't know this, it's because you haven't seen the series Breaking Bad. It is really good. You can watch it. But anyways, alter is to modify something, to change something, basically. Appreciate, to recognize how good someone or something is and to evaluate him or her for it. So basically, when you appreciate someone, it's because you feel like, oh my god, this person is really good. Let's celebrate in a way how well he is doing things or how good this person is. Become, to start to be. This is a businessman but that wants to become a doctor. Come on, to start to happen or work. Cure, to make someone with an illness healthy again. That is to cure someone. Hit, to move your hand or an object onto the surface of something so that it touches it, usually with force. When you hit it, it's when you punch it with your fist or with something. Or for example, you can hit a ball with a baseball bat. Hold, to take and keep something in your hand or arms. That is to hold. You're holding hands. Release, to give freedom or free movement to someone or something. That is to release. Retain, to keep or continue to have something. You don't want to let it go, so you retain it. Rip, to pull apart, to tear or be torn violently and quickly. This paper is being ripped. Set up, the way in which things are organized or arranged. And to set up, it's basically when you are putting the things, organizing it, and arranging it. Spread, to cause to cover, reach, or have an effect on a wider or increasing area. Steal, to take something without the permission or knowledge of the owner and keep it. That is stealing. Take place, it's to happen or to occur. When things, happen. Okay, so those were the words for the vocabulary for this lesson, for this unit. So let's now go to the book. Unit 10, a matter of time. In this unit, we're going to be discussing important past events and we're going to make predictions. But that is on the next video, okay? Okay, so first we're going to have these snapshots. This is snapshot. Trends and fads through the years. So you remember fads, things that were popular for a short amount of time. Okay. 1975. Disco becomes the latest dance craze. Ooh, yeah, the disco era. 1982. The board game Trivial Pursuit is widely released. Very good. 1996. Tamagotchi, a virtual parent, is born and soon becomes a world fad. Okay. 2004. Awareness wristbands gain popularity with teens and adults, usually to fight with AIDS, cancer, or things like that. Okay. 2006. The Wii console becomes an overnight sensation. Yes, this is true. The Wii was similar to this machine right here, but this is a Wii U. It's the second. It's the next console after the Wii. 2013, the album Coloring Book gains popularity as a stress reliever. Okay, this is really interesting. I've never seen that, but it was a fad in maybe the United States. Okay, let's continue. Now we have a perspectives quiz show. Read the questions from a quiz show. Do you know the answers? Check your guesses, and then we're gonna listen to check which ones are the correct answers and see which ones of them are surprising. Okay. So take your time to read this, and then we're gonna listen to chat, okay? Just choose the answers that you think that are true. You don't need to investigate it, okay? Okay, so read it. And now if you read it, let's listen and chat.
Unit 10, A Matter of Time. Page 64, Exercise 2. Perspectives. Quiz Show, Part B. Now listen and check your answers. What information is the most surprising?
1. When was the first home video game console released?
B. In 1972.
2. How long has Washington, D.C. been the capital of the United States?
C. Since 1800.
3. How long were the Beatles together?
B. For 10 years.
4. When did World War I take place?
A. During the 1910s.
Okay, very good. Did you get all of the answers? If not, let's check. Well, when was the first home video game console released? It was in 1981, and I think it was Pong. How long has Washington, D.C. been the capital of the United States? Since 1800s. Okay. How long were the Beatles together? They were together for 10 years. And when did World War One take place? It was during the 1910s, and the Second World War it was during the 1940s. And this is really interesting because this is going to be really related to the grammar that we are going to have today. Okay, so look forward to it. Now let's go to the grammar for today. Okay, referring to the time in past. That is the grammar for today. We're going to be using during, in, ago, from, to, and for, and since and for, okay? So, as always, I have a material for this. So, let's use this one. Okay, referring to time in the past. Different ways to refer to things that have happened in the past. We have for, since, during, while, ago, and before, okay? And these prepositions, we're going to be seeing them now, okay? Okay, let's start with for and since. I have been living in Japan since 2012. Okay, we use since plus a starting point and continues until now. Basically, since it's used with a moment where it starts, that is a time or a date. And at that time or date, the time starts. We use since when something started in the past and continues until now. Okay, so started in the past and continues and it's present until now. Since is mostly used in the present perfect and present and perfect progressive tense. For example, he hasn't eaten since 7 o'clock. So starting from 7 o'clock, he didn't eat. He started to not eat, and he haven't eaten yet. I have been working here since June, and I'm still working there. We have been married since 2002. Okay, some different ways or ways to use since are since 8 o'clock, a time, since Monday, a day, or a starting point. Since February, since 1982, since I left school, since the end of the last century. Okay? Then we have for. For plus a period of time or for plus a number and time. When we measure the duration of something or how long it lasts, basically we use for. We say the amount of time that this thing happened. It has a start point and an end point and can be used in different tenses. So in since you start and you continue now, but with for you start and you finish. Okay? Some examples. I studied English in Ireland for 2 years. So the starting point was 2 years ago and it finished today, for example. Or maybe the other time. I will be there for around 2 months. Okay? We have been married for 14 years. For 10 minutes, for 8 hours, for 5 days, for 6 months, for 3 years, for 2 centuries. Basically, you say the period of times or a number and time word. Example, for 6, the number months, the time word. Okay? During, for a while. During plus a noun. You stayed when something happens. The students were quiet during the lecture. The fans were cheering during the game. Okay? So basically we use during to say when this happened. Okay? For plus the length of time, as we saw before, to state how long something happened. You have been studying for 3 hours. You waited in line for a long time. And while, to talk about two things that are happening at the same time. While plus subject plus verb. The dog was barking while I was trying to sleep. Okay, so we can use these three for those. During, when something happens. For, to say how long something happens. And while, when two things are happening at the same time. Okay? Then we have ago and before. Ago is used to count back from the present. Ago is used with a past tense and time expression. Some examples. Her father died 4 years ago. Okay? Something from back to the present. Michael got a letter from her just a little while ago. I was living in Paris 12 years ago. Okay? To say that it was, 12 years in the past. We went to visit my brother 2 weeks ago. And then we have before. Before is used when you date back from any point of time which is made specific, earlier than something, previous to a time. Basically, when you use before, it's that you're mentioning something that happened before another thing. So it happened first. I am going to the supermarket before I go to my school. Okay? So I'm gonna do this before this other thing. I saw her 3 years before I went to Spain. Did you go home before my sister went to the gym? Okay, very good. I hope they understand this. Now let's go to the grammar and the book and let's see if this is easier for us. Okay? For a point or period of time in the past, we use this. When was the first video game console released? During the 1970s. Okay, so we use during to say when something happened. In the 90s, okay? Over 40 years ago, so more than 40 years in the past. How long were the viewers together? From 1960, starting from this moment, to 1970, ending in this moment, for 10 years. Okay? A period of time that continues into the present. How long has Washington, D.C. been the capital of the United States? Since 19 basically 1800, sorry. So basically this says that it started at that moment and then we continue until now, for about 220 years. That is the amount of time that have happened. Okay, very good. Now, if you understand this, let's do this exercise real quick. Complete the paragraph with the bold words from the grammar books. So the bold words are this, during, in, ago, from, to, for, since, and for. This is called bold. Okay? Take your time to complete this, and then we're gonna check. Okay? Okay, you finished? Let's check. The Olympic Games originated in ancient Greece about 3,000 years ago, from the 8th century BCE to the 4th century CE. The Games took place in Olympia. The first modern Olympics were held in 1996 in Athens, with male participants from 14 nations. Women have only competed in the Olympics since 1900. Number 2. Although no one knows for sure, it's likely that the Chinese invented ice cream about 4,000 years ago. It was probably brought to Italy in or during the 13th century by Marco Polo. But the ice cream we enjoy today was probably created in Italy in or during the 17th century and spread through Europe in or during the 18th century. Since that time, different flavors have been created, but vanilla is still America's favorite. If you have those answers, very good. You are correct. Okay, let's now continue to this pronunciation part. You're gonna listen and practice. You'll notice which syllables has the main stress in these 4 and 5 syllable words. And notice the secondary stress, okay? So it has more than one stress. And then after that, we're gonna listen to the words in this box and put it in the correct columns, okay? So first, let's start by listening, and then we're gonna do this exercise.
Page 65. Exercise 4. Pronunciation. Syllable stress. Part A. Listen and practice. Notice which syllable has the main stress in these 4 and 5 syllable words. Notice the secondary stress.
Identify. Disadvantage. Communication.
Okay, very good. Did you get it? Okay, so we have identify, 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 identify. Disadvantage, 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 disadvantage. Communication, 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 communication. Disadvantage, identify. Okay, you notice it? You practice it? So let's listen to these words right here and let's try to sort it in the correct columns, okay? Take your time to listen and complete, and then we're gonna check.
Page 65. Exercise 4. Part B. Listen to the words in the box. Which syllable has the main stress? Write the words in the correct column in Part A.
Appreciate. Assassination. Catastrophe. Consideration. Conversation. Revolution.
Very good. Remember that if you need to listen again, just go back in the video. Okay, did you finish? Let's check. Okay, catastrophe. That's gonna be. Okay, sorry. It works in the correct column in part A. Oh, okay, so this is which syllable has the main stress. So we have it as catastrophe, it's this, and catastrophe, 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 it will be in the same as disadvantage. Appreciate, appreciate. We have the main stress here in P. Revolution, revolution. We have it here, the main stress. Conversation, conversation. It will be here in this indissoluble. Assassination is the same. Assassination and consideration. Okay. If you have these answers, very good. You are correct. Okay, let's now go to the last thing for the day. That it's gonna be our word power. Historic events. Match each word with the best example. Okay. So you're gonna match the words with the examples of this, okay? Take your time to complete this, and then we're gonna check. Okay, you finished? Let's check. Okay, number 1, achievement. It's letter G. In 2003, scientists completed the Human Genome Program. Very good. Okay. Number 2, assassination. It's number 2 is letter F. John Lennon was killed by a fan on December 8, 1980. Okay. Number 3, discovery. In 2015, scientists confirmed the existence of water on Mars. Number 4, election. Letter E, Barack Obama became the first African American US president in 2009. Okay. Number 5, epidemic. It's letter D. Since the early 1980s, HIV has infected more than 70 million people. Wow. Number 6, natural disaster. In 2015, an earthquake hit Nepal and killed over 8,000 people. Wow. Number 7, revolution is letter B. Fidel Castro established a communist government in Cuba in 1959. Then, the last one, number 8, terrorist act. It's letter H. Two men invaded and killed the journalist of Charlie Hebdo newspaper in Paris in 2005 and 15. I remember this. It was really bad. Okay, very good. I hope that you liked this video. This has been everything for today. And on the next class, we're going to continue with the rest of the unit. We are going to be seeing how to predict the future with Will. So I hope that you look forward for it. But that's been everything for today. So see you in the next time. Bye.